Well, good afternoon and welcome to our August Ranching 101 webinar presented by AgTrust. Today, you will hear from an industry expert who helps practical marketing strategies to help producers maximize the value of their calf crop and make informed decisions when marketing cull cows. Before we start today, please join me for a short message from AgTrust.
When your passion is agriculture and a rural way of life, you need a partner who understands. That partner is AgTrust Farm Credit, formed from two trusted farm credit associations. Our mission is to provide personalized financing tailored for full and part-time farmers, ranchers, agribusinesses, and rural homeowners. And because we live in the communities we serve, AgTrust Farm Credit is here to help you succeed.
Well, today we're excited to have Ty De Cordova, Chief Operating Officer at Live Ag, join us today as our guest speaker. As a reminder to everyone, if you have any questions during the webinar, please submit them in the chat box or the Q&A box below. And Ty, at this time, I'll pass it over to you to introduce yourself and give everyone a snapshot of kind of what a day looks like with Live Ag.
Well, thank y'all for having me. Thank you for inviting me to do this. I don't know about the expert part, but I've been doing this quite a while. But um, my name is Toddy Cordova. I live in Groesbeck, Texas. My wife and two daughters, a freshman and a senior. So I have a pretty busy day keeping up with them most of the time. But as far as my background in the livestock industry, I started at a very young age. My dad started an order buying company. My dad was Rusty Cordova. He started an order buying company in the late 70s, early 80s. So I kind of grew up in the sale barn atmosphere. He went to work for a company called Superior Livestock in the late 80s. And we was there for quite some time. My brother still works there. And in 2006, we bought a sale barn together at Buffalo Livestock, which my brother owns and operates today. Um, and it's one of the biggest sale barns in Central Texas on a Saturday. So he does that. So we've kind of had the vast knowledge on every side of the marketing spectrum, which whether it's private treaty or order buying cattle or operating a sale barn or selling video cattle. In 2024, myself and a partner by name Jason Barber partnered up with UPI and TFC to start a company called Live Ag. It's another video company where we sell load lots of feeder cattle and beef on dairies and bred stock, and then we have a purebred side of it too, where we sell we have a bidding platform for bull sales and female sales, and then also we have an equipment side to it. So that's kind of the background of where I come from and what I do on a day-to-day operation. I still ship a lot of cattle, even though they did give me a title of COO. I'm still out a lot and travel a lot, but just take care of some ARs and stuff like that, and delivery problems and issues or anything like that. That's kind of what I do on a daily basis. So.
Great. Well, Ty, I'm just going to jump in with our first question. What should producers consider when developing a marketing plan for their calf crop?
On that, it can be different for it. Just kind of what fits your program. It's not a one size fits all. And when people ask me that question, I go into more detail of what do you have? What does your cow herd look like? How many cows you got? How do you do your deal? I mean, do you have places to wean your cattle? I mean, there's so many different steps to all of that it's just whatever you fit your program. There's a spot for everything. A lot of people always would ask us, how can we have a local sale barn and still sell cattle on video too? Well, because there's a spot for all of it. And in our opinion, there's a good market for everything. Just you need to pick the market that fits your program. Of course, we'd want you to work your calves no matter where you're selling them. That's one of the big selling points right now is let's castrate them bulls and let's give them at least one round of shot. And even if you are hauling to the sale barn, that it helps you there too. So as far as the marketing plan, that would have to be a kind of a one-on-one conversation, which I don't mind having if you want to call, and I don't mind even if you're not going to do business with us. I don't mind steering you in the correct direction of what I see that fits in those situations. So.
Right. How long should calves be weaned before marketing to maximize their value?
Well, this is you can kind of get multiple different opinions, but from my perspective, when we see, and we've done it multiple different ways, 45 days, 60 days, 90 days, just kind of depends. But in my opinion, the 60-day deal is a maximum. It will maximize your profit because they get to that past that 45-day mark, and that's when they really turn it on. That's when you'll maximize your gain opportunity. And then the feed yards and the guys that are getting them on the next level, they really, really push for a 60-day wean calf because he's gonna hold up better. They're gonna have less trouble out of him. He's gonna go right to work for them, whether it's a grazer or a feed yard. Um, I always push my customers. Anybody ask me that question. If you're going to wean one, even if you're going to wean one and take to a pre-con sale at a local sale barn where you're weaning 10 or 20 head and taking them to a commingle pre-con sale, the 60-day program, it's just better for the animal. It's better for the next producer. And we have to make it as good for the next producer too, or we won't have them guys to support us. So if we'll think of it in that way, then you dang sure need a kind of 60 plus days is what I would recommend.
And do you mind talking about what value added programs could offer the greatest opportunities for producers today?
Like I said, that'll kind of fit your whatever your program looks like. It's kind of not a cookie cutter deal, but we have some programs out there that we are seeing a lot of value on. The NHTC and the Verified Natural and the Aegis Source. They are two or three of the programs that we really kind of try to push. Um, if you're going to sell load lots of cattle and you have an Angus based background and you're using some black bulls, we would really push you towards the NHTC or Verified Natural program because we are seeing the premiums out of them still. To go one step forward, if you're using a certain bull battery with some certain breeders, then we would push you towards the NHTC Verified Natural and like a raised well or a beef care or even a gap animal, gap four. So it all depends on what your base herd is, what your cow herd is, and what bulls you're using is which will push you one way or another. And a lot of people ask me when this market run up there is like it has in the last couple of years, is it worth still doing the programs? We're not seeing the big premiums we were seeing, but we're still seeing a premium. But anybody that's been in this a long time knows that these high prices don't have to stay here. So if you're already in the programs and you're already doing it, let's stick with them and keep paying for them because they will come back and we will see those big premiums again. We feel. And I've got several customers that this last 2 years for sure have seen where their cattle have brought what most everything else has brought, and they were on NHTC Verified National. They're doing all the steps, and they're like, "Wow!" We're like, "Well, we're at some numbers we've never seen before."
Mhm.
So, and that's the reason. So there will be a day that those things will pay again, and they still are. We've seen it the last couple weeks at our video sales where up north those Angus-based cow herds that are using certain bulls and they're on their program, they're bringing 15, 20, $25 a hundred more than their contemporaries that aren't. So,
Mhm. And I guess a follow-up with that question, how can producers determine whether a value-added program is worth the additional requirements?
I would say if you're not selling load lots of cattle, then I'm probably going to get some people out there that do this for a living mad at me. But if you're not selling a load lots of cattle, then no, it's not worth the money in my opinion. There's very few sale barns here in Texas that are program based sale barns that can sell those programs, and there's very few that do. Um, but if you're selling a load lot and you have an Angus based Brangus type cow herd and you're running Angus bulls, then I would suggest you need to do some verified natural or an HTC program.
Can bulls work a ranch for 20 plus years? When do we cull bulls?
I would say when he's not no good anymore.
Okay.
And if you're keeping heifers, you need to roll through your genetics. And on the bull deal, this is something when we bought the sale barn in 2006. I couldn't understand people, going in there and giving back then with $1,500 to $2,000 for a cow, and wanting to buy a bull for 1,500 bucks. That bull is going to have anywhere from 15 to 25 calves, and that cow's going to have one. How about we go out and give what a bull's worth, and let's go buy a good bull to put on your cows, because a good bull can make a cow herd better.
Mhm.
When you're choosing your bulls, don't pinch pennies. Just need to go out there, and this is my opinion, and we see it time and time again on your bottom dollar. You need to go out there and buy you a really good bull to put on your cows, because they will pay for themselves.
How do I let the sale barn know that my calves are weaned to get the maximum value?
When you tag them in, if you'll tell them in the at the when you bring them in the sale barn, if you'll tell who's ever writing them up, that they've been weaned so many days and have this many rounds of shots, that they 9 times out of 10 they'll pass it in the office and let everybody know, or talk to the guy that owns it. I mean, that's what I would do. I would call the owner and say, "Hey, I'm bringing in so many weaned calves, and they've been weaned this long."
What can producers do to increase the value of calves sold through the traditional auction market besides weaning?
Well, if you don't wean them, you dang sure need to castrate your bulls. Give a round of a shot. That just helps your gain. I mean, that just helps your animals. I mean that, and then when they go to the sale barn, certain guys can only buy castrated animals. I mean, they can't buy bulls. I mean, and they'll give more money for them.
And when does it make sense to market cattle through a video auction instead of the local sale barn?
Like I said earlier, there's a plan for all of it. Every product fits a need somewhere. This, in my opinion, the best place to sell a load lot of cattle is on a video auction. It's less stress, less shrink, less anything. It makes a whole lot of sense to sell your straight loads on there. The split loads from time to time. Like I said, I'll probably get yelled at for saying this, but split loads, they have a place there from time to time if you have other loads on there, but those pre-con sales are really good for those kind of loads too, because you can get them in there and sort them up and make straight loads out of them with your neighbors or whatever. But if you have a load lot of cattle, there's no other way, and I've done it every way. I mean, there's no other way, in my opinion, than to sell a straight load of cattle, whoever you use. But a video auction is the best method for that.
And could you talk us through the preparation that's needed before consigning calves to a video sale?
You just kind of contact your local rep, and every video auction has a reps kind of scattered throughout the country. Just get on whichever website. I mean, I'd love for you to use Live Ag. Don't get me wrong, but I'm not here to say you have to. But just get on their website, look it up, and they'll have a representative in your area. Or call the office, and they'll recommend somebody in that area. And then they'll come out and evaluate what you have and give you, kind of walk you through the steps of how it works. So what the contracts look like, when the sale dates will be, when they recommend to sell them, what weights they recommend to sell them at, and just kind of they'll go through the programs with you too. I mean, where they think you need to be on a verified natural or an HTC. I mean, the reps in there in your area will they're the best people to lean on for that knowledge.
If you are bringing in a uniform group of calves, is it better for them to sell as a group, individual, or pairs?
Kind of a trick question, I think. Like, I mean, would it be, you think I'm talking about a load lot of calves, or it just depends of how uniform they are and how up and down they are. But if they are uniform, yes, in most instances, it's best to sell them together. Yes.
And if there needs to be any more clarification on any questions submitted, feel free to just add on to the question and we'll make sure that we get them asked to Ty, just as a pro tip for anyone on the call today. Um, Ty, how does maintaining a defined calving window improve marketing opportunities?
Oh, tightening up your calving window is the best thing you can do in your calf herd. I mean, your cow herd is. If you can tighten that thing up to 60 days or less, you'll have a more uniform set of calves. And when you do that, you'll have a better chance at making straight loads of calves. And even when you're taking them to the sale barn, it'll limit your variables and your weights, and you can wean one time, or you can strip them off and go right straight to the sale barn at one time, instead of having them, scattered 90 to 120 days out, where you got calves weighing from 3 to 7, and just it helps your program, if you will, tighten that down.
And do you have an ideal calving window for commercial producers? And
Just whatever fits your area. I mean, most everybody here's fall calvers, and quite a few guys are moving to spring calvers down here. But just whatever fits your protocol, whatever fits your area. But I would say whatever that is, keep it to a 60-day minimum.
Kind of jumping back around to bull selection, how much does bull selection influence the marketability and profitability of your calf crop?
A lot. It's one of the biggest decisions you can make of what bull you need to put on your cows, and that goes back to whatever your cow herd is. I mean, all bulls are. I mean, whether it's Angus, Charolais, Sim Angus, Hereford, whatever your cow herd is what you need to concentrate on that. What will maximize your profit on what crossbreeding you can do. Um, and when you do that, just go try to find the best one you can afford that day and get it. Try not to pinch pennies on your bull purchases. That's where your profit's going to come from. That's my opinion. So
Jumping back around to the programs, can you elaborate on the two programs again and what they are and what they stand for, Verified Natural or AHTC?
NHTC, what NHTC is a non-hormone treated animal, so that they would never had any like implants or hormones. And a verified natural would be one that would have been never received an antibiotic. That don't mean a BVD shot or a Pastorella shot or black leg. It just means they've never been treated for being sick. They've never received like a Baytril or a Nuflor or XC or anything like that. Um, so the Verified Natural and the NHTCs are the two biggest programs that we see out there that have the most, I guess you could say, value added to them. They're the biggest ones we see. And we're starting to see some of these nutrition programs too, like with a Biozyme and Vitaferm, where you feed a certain type of mineral. We're seeing these guys start seeing an extra little bit of gain out of them and a better breed back program on that Vitaferm and stuff. So I would really look into a mineral program as well. So.
If you are a small operator, less than 30 head, what should I do to maximize my return on calves?
Select a really good bull battery. And I mean, wean if you have the spot to do it, wean your calves. Wean them for 60 days and find a local barn that does a. I don't know where you're located, but down this way you have Navasota Livestock that's got a pre-con sale. You got Buffalo Livestock that's got a pre-con sale, and you got Jodon at Sulphur Springs that's got a pre-conditioned sale. And I think Jake Jacobs down at Cuero started one. Um, I hope I'm not missing somebody because they're going to yell at me if I am, but all of those four places are having preconditioned weaned calf cells. They're going to commingle them. They're going to sort them up and commingle them for you. And if you're weaning them, you need to be taking advantages of those cells. And I think Tim Niedecken out at San Saba, I think he has a weaned calf cell ever so often, and that's another good one if you're out that way. So the tools are there for you for the smaller producers, that the tools are there if you want to take the next step and wean your calves and maximize that profit. They're there for y'all to do. If you just reach out to those guys, they'll give you some insight. And it's like I said, Jake Jacobs down at Cuero, and then you got Greg Goodo at Navasota, and you got Cody DeCordova at Buffalo, and then you got Joe Don up there at Sulphur Springs. So just reach out to them guys, and Ned Dank sure love to visit with you about doing it.
Right. And this is a two-part question. I'm going back to that bull culling question that I asked earlier. How long do most people run an Angus bull before they should consider changing him out, assuming you aren't keeping his offspring?
Oh, them things should last 5 to 7 years, I would think. I mean, uh, just make sure you get him fertility tested every year, and as long as he's good and you're not keeping his offspring and you like the product you're getting, keep him. I mean, heck, I got some 8-year-old bulls out there I'm still using just because they're still in good shape and they're still spitting out calves, and I love the job they're doing.
Could you talk a little bit more about EPDs and genetic traits for what commercial producers should prioritize when selecting their herd sires?
I'm not much of an EPD junkie. I know what I like when I look at it. I'm more of a visual guy. I would try to stay in the top 10 to 15% on any of the EPDs that you go after. And I know you probably hear that a lot, but I would try to stay in that percentile on all the EPDs. But as far as me getting in the weeds on them, that I'm not your guy on them EPDs. So.
Okay. Can you talk about most common bull selection mistakes that you do see producers make?
Yeah, trying to buy a $2,500 bull. I mean, if you're going to buy a bull, let's know something about it, know where it come from. Let's do our research on our bull purchases because they do matter.
Mhm.
That bull is going to raise your calves. I mean, it's going to be 20. If you got 20 cows, it's going to be he's going to have processing all 20 calves.
Mhm.
So and just do your research on it because that's where you and make sure I mean, do some searching on what to cross it with. Like if you have Angus cows, what's the best cross? Should I put an Angus bull on it? Should I put a Charolais bull on them? Should I put a Hereford bull on them? I mean, do a little of that research and make sure you're doing the most to maximize your profitability on your crossbreeding too. So.
Ty, could you elaborate on how do you know what price you need to sell your calves at to make a profit this year?
That's kind of a loaded question, but I mean, if we'd have sold them back in July, you'd be smiling from ear to ear today. And this market's kind of dropped a little bit. But if you're a cow calf producer, we're in unseen times that them calves are bringing from whether it's $2,000 a head or $2,800 a head. Your cow calf guy is making it right now, and if
Mm.
he's not, then you probably need to consider your input cost. If you're not doing well in a cow calf producer right now, you probably have too high of input costs somewhere. You probably need to look at that. But as far as locking in your price, the only way to really lock in a price on a calf is to forward contracting, and the only way to do that is to have enough to do that with. Like I said, load lots or whether that's I mean, my choice would be sell them on a video and get a rep out there and sell them now and ship them this fall and go ahead and get a price locked in. But as far as the smaller producers, the best to do is just haul them to the sell barn when they're ready for you. I mean, when your calves are ready, just sell them that day and the market is what the market is that day. So, but like I said, the times we're in right now, you know. I remember when these things were worth $550. I mean, so, and we were still making it. So we're bringing a $2,000 cab to town is a pretty good day. So,
And looking ahead, what trends in the cattle market should producers prepare for when marketing future calf crops?
oh, right now we're in a little trend here that's like we're in a little downtrend. I know people don't like to hear that, but that's kind of where we're at. We were in a pretty high state here the last 2 or 3 months where these calves have been worth a lot of money. Now we're falling back down to where some of these guys can stomach it, but we're still good. The market's still good. Don't get me wrong. So as far as trends, I don't know. I think everybody crystal ball broke here about 6 months ago, and nobody can tell you which way this thing's going. A lot of experts think it's going up. Then you talk to the other experts, and they say it's going down. They say we could, hit some new lows this fall, and then we could hit some new highs next spring. I mean, the one factor out there that does stand is our cow herd is the lowest it's been in years and it don't show no rebuilding anytime soon. So that is one factor. We are tight for numbers, and we will be for quite some time here. So I see a lot of optimism in the market. I see we're in the driver's seat for now. They've thrown a lot at us here in the last 90 days with the screwworm, with the border opening, with plants closing. I mean, they're throwing every man-made thing they can at us right now to try to break this market back, and it's done it a little bit, but it ain't done it like none of them thought it would. So, I think we're a resilient industry. We will continue to go down, and I think we're in the driver's seat. Cow cab guys are in the driver's seat.
Mhm. Are you seeing any AI technologies being incorporated in the industry that you could see go good or go bad?
We're using it. There's no doubt. We're using it for our stuff to build some stuff on the back end, but it's not affecting our cow calf guys. But it's helping us market them better. It's helping us get them out there better. It's a tool that everybody's going to and using. There's no doubt. I've seen some pretty neat stuff. I haven't used any of it, or talking about selecting weights and selecting carcass data and doing some scans and stuff that they're doing with some of the AI stuff. It's been pretty neat to look at some of that on the back end, but and I think there's a lot more to come. And we just it's just like anything else. If everybody else is using it, we probably need to get kind of involved and look what it can, how it can benefit us, and what we can use it for to make our product better. So.
If there was something that you could implement, what would it be regarding AI technology, or trying to make the industry better?
Oh, I don't know. I don't have one of those picked out yet. That stuff kind of scares me sometimes when they go to showing it to me and using it. I use a little bit of it to do some sorting and or as far as catalog order and stuff like that. But I try not to get into it. That thing will go to reading your brain and it'll tell you what you're thinking and you're like, nah, I'm not. I don't like that.
Uh, a question submitted. Kerrville Hill Country, 25 cows ranch selling calves off cows. What's the best way to sell at the sale barn?
Herville, that's out around Fredericksburg.
Yes, sir.
Is that right? Um, yeah, just if you're weaning them, if you have a spot to wean them, wean them. There's no doubt. I mean, a weaned animal is going to bring more. And the way you decide if you've done the right thing or not on weaning one is not the day you sell it. It's 60 days prior to that. Kind of what was the market then, and when you sell it 60 days from then, okay, have I did I gain any value from there? And year after year, I could show producers anywhere from a $15 a hundred to a $35 a hundred premium that they received on their animal that day, from the day they weaned it to the day they sold it. And I mean, I ran Buffalo from 2006 to I don't know 2018 or 19, whenever I got out, and from year after year, you could show them the premiums and weaning their calves. So that does pay. There's no doubt. Um, but nowadays, with the calves bringing what they're bringing right off the cow, I don't fault you for not weaning them. But if you want to maximize them, if you want to get everything out of them, I would wean them for 60 days and find a sale barn that's closer to you that's having a weaned calf sale, whether that's probably the closest one out there. And I don't know, uh, Fredericksburg might have one. I don't think they do, but Mason might, and I know San Saba does.
How do you get help with crossbreeding selection?
Do what now?
How do you get help with crossbreeding selection?
Now that is one good tool that AI can be helpful for. Google it. I mean, and a lot of people are like, Google it. And I'm like, yeah, if you'll type in, okay, I have an Angus-based cow herd, or I have a Charolais-based cow herd. What is the best bull to put on those cows? It'll should show you. And if it don't, then reach out to your local associations. They'll lead you in the right way.
If a ranch does not allow for weaning, is 550 pound a good weight?
Yes. Did I lose y'all? I can't see nothing no more.
I think my video is glitching out. It actually keeps
Okay,
freezing
you're
on
good.
my end, but I can still see you and hear you.
Okay,
You can still hear me. My video might kick
yeah,
back on here in a
you're
minute.
good.
Um, Ty, what other trends are you seeing right now in the markets that first time cattle ranchers should be aware of? Maybe they haven't taken cattle to an auction before. What should they be on the lookout for?
Oh, I don't know if there's any new trends out there. Just like I said, be sure you're castrating your animals and castrating your bulls and giving them at least a round of shots for you, and it's going to benefit you in the long run. So no new trends that I see.
Okay. And we did have another question submitted, more so just along the lines of, would you mind discussing culling cows? I know we've
Okay.
talked a lot of bulls, weaning calves, but could you talk about culling cows?
On the cool cow deal, what I do is if she's open, she goes to town. I will try to keep a cow as long as she's raising a baby. I'll try to keep her as long as she's is healthy. Um, and got a good mouth. Now, when she goes to losing a few teeth and you look like she's backing up, I'd go ahead and sell her. this cow market's plenty good. I mean, just get rid of those old open cows. There's no doubt. I, it's hard for me to keep around even a 3 or 4 year old cow that misses around. I don't keep her. I sell her. Um, so that's my advice on culling. Calves are worth too much now to be keeping open cows around. So, did I lose you? Hello. I think I might have lost you. You there? All right. I don't know if y'all can still hear me or not, but I can see some of these questions. Um, there's one question on here. What is your favorite livestock market in Texas? Well, I'm kind of biased since my brother owns a sale barn. I'm going to probably send you to Buffalo Livestock. That's my favorite one. Brandy, as far as on your where a small cow calf producer is looking to grow, we are grass fed. Mostly, we do not give them cubes as treats to corral them, train them. We have land for growth. Is it more profitable to sell steers as calves and purchase more heifers slash cows or feed them out? The steers direct to consumers sell them. I would say sell them as steer calves. It takes a long time, unless you have the means to do it. It takes quite a bit of time to get one fat. I think you would make more profitable on your land if you'd sell the calves, at 650 or 550 or 650 weights and buy you some more heifers or some cows to retain and raise more babies. There's another question that says, is there anything besides forward contracting to help producers protect prices for next year's calf crop? Yes, there is a deal called LRPs. If you'll reach out to any of the risk protection insurance guys, especially risk, LMA does some of it, I think. Or any guys in your area, if you'll reach out to them, they will have a program called LRP, and they're currently trying to. It's an insurance program. They're currently trying to grow that to where it covers more percentage of your calf crop. So if you want to do something like that, reach out to one of those guys, and they'll fill you in.
Ty, I think I'm back. I'm so sorry. I think my
That's all right.
internet
I've
has
been
tried.
scanning I've been scanning these questions and answering some. I guess they've been hearing me. I don't know. I've
That's
been
great.
I've been scanning some questions and uh so there's another question here. Should I take old cow straight to slaughter or to the sale barn? One thing about it, if you take her to slaughter, they liable to condemn her or something like that. If you take them to the sale barn, you're more than likely to get a check. It might not be for much, but you'll get a check. Um, I I would shy away from taking them straight to slaughter unless you had like a straight load of cows. Um, so. All right, you can take back over, Brent.
Okay. I was like, you're doing great. If you just want to keep reading them or I can read them. If I do repeat a question, my apologies for falling off of the Zoom call. So I'm just going to pick
All
up
right,
um,
I'm
with this
here.
one.
It says, what are your thoughts on keeping replacement heifers in this
Okay.
market, especially when you see some of these prices for Brahman influence heifers? It'd be pretty hard for me to keep a heifer right now when you can go out there and buy a cow, when you can put a little bit of money with that heifer money and buy a cow. Um, Now it's like I said, it's not one size fit all. This is just what I would do in my operation. I would sell that heifer and add a little money to her and buy a cow. That way, I mean, just it's just the process of getting the heifer bred and then calving her out and then getting her rebred is the problem. I mean, yeah, you can get one bred, but then rebred's a different thing. So, should we wean calves? Yes, you should wean calves. How important is BRD vaccine to marketing your calves? Vary. That might be one of the best things you can do to even if you're just selling at a sale barn, is to go ahead and give them a BVD vaccines. So, will I get a better price in Oklahoma than Texas for my calves? I don't know. It depends on where you live. The market's the market. I mean, so if you're down here in Central Texas or South Texas and you're freighting them all the way to Oklahoma, fuel prices at 5.50 a gallon, I'm going to say you're probably better off selling them in Texas. Um, and I'm a Texan, so I'm going to suggest you sell them in Texas. So, while weaning, what feed do you recommend besides grass and molasses protein tubs? Oh, that would be a nutritionist program question. I mean, there's several places you can go buy a good feed. LNC being one of them, or Producers Co-op, or your local feed store can probably answer that better than I can. So I don't know if I answered all of them, but
Supposed to have we missed any in the chat box? While I was off.
I don't know how to tell that. So
Let's see. Well, we'll give everyone a couple more minutes. How does that sound? We'll give everyone a couple more minutes to submit any last minute questions. If we did not get them answered, feel free to drop them in the chat box or the Q&A box. And while we let them submit their last questions, Ty, do you have any final remarks for the group? And thanks again for continuing to answer their questions as I dropped off.
I did touch on an LRP program, and some people on here might know what that is, and some people might not. But there was a question on there about how do we protect our calf crops if we don't have enough to forward contract. I don't know what the headcount stipulation is on LRPs. I know they were working on that. I know that there's ALMDA and several other organizations have been going to the Hill trying to get that deal shaped around to where that'll cover more and they'll take less head counts. But that is a really good tool for cow-calf producers to use as the LRPs. If you don't know what that is, livestock risk protection is what it stands for. But like I said, Google is your friend. Look that up and see who's closest to you that handles those LRP contracts, and then call and see if that fits your program. So.
While weaning, what feed do you recommend besides grass and molasses? Have you already answered that one?
I
I
did.
saw that. Okay, great. Um, what about what age do you start weaning?
Oh, that's another thing. If it's just whatever fits your protocol. I mean, whatever, if your cows look like they're backing up, strip the calves off of them. And the cows are healthy and the calves are still growing, I make them raise them. I mean, there's not a certain. particular weight to look for. It's just whatever. I mean, I know some guys that wean at 550 or 450. I mean, then I know some guys that don't wean till 750 or 800. It's just whatever your cow can handle.
What if a 5-year-old cow that has raised two calves well, but has an enormous udder? Are we worried that might be a problem in the future? Should we keep or cull?
If you're not having to milk her and nurse that baby, then let her keep raising a calf.
Sell old cows dry, bred, or as a pair?
Oh, that's kind of depending on what time of year it is. Yeah, I would. If she can raise a calf, I'd raise a calf out of her. I'd make her raise the calf and then sell her and the calf, and just take them up there and whatever that whatever makes the most sense that day. So,
Should I sell cows? Oop, sorry. Should I sell cows that miss the 60-day breeding as soon as they calve late, or go ahead and rebreed and sell as a 3-in-1 or as three in
uh,
ones?
if you have the room to do it, rebreed her. I mean, get her bred. If you have the room to do it, yeah,
Is it more advantageous to early wean first calf heifers?
yes. In my opinion, it is. You give them heifers a break and you get them to cycle right back. Yeah. I just stripped 30 calves off his first half heifers that didn't weigh 300. So
For someone trying to get in the cattle business, what recommendations do you have for educational content? Any books, any webinars, any educational websites, connections? How would you recommend someone getting more involved?
oh, I wouldn't know where to look, tell you the truth. I would reach out to a college that you trust and they'll have some stuff. Or find somebody that's in the industry and that lives it and lean on them for yeah.
And once again, so sorry if I'm repeating some of these questions. Is there anything besides forward contracting to help protect prices for next year's calf crop? Did y'all
Yeah,
cover that?
I answered that for that with that LRP.
Okay. I think we covered old cows better to sell. What did you do with the 3,300 weight calves you pulled off of the heifers?
Send them to Buffalo Livestock.
Um,
And the reason I did that is because I didn't have a place to wean them.
we covered the age of weaning calves. Yeah, filtering through these quickly. Sorry for the delay.
I might have to tell these sale barn guys they owe me some commission.
Oh, I'll have to send them the recording so they can go back and watch. Is there a good way to be in the cattle industry even if you don't own a lot of land?
Oh, it'd be kind of hard if you don't have a piece of property to run them on. Yeah, unless you can find some lease ground. That's getting harder to come by too.
So this next question is kind of a scenario question. We had a heifer that prematurely birthed her calf about 1 to 2 months early. We were able to pin them and force the baby to nurse. She wasn't going back to it often enough, and the baby almost died. Now, 3 months later, the preemie is starting to get normal weight. Should we cull the cow and calf? Cull one, cull neither, cull them both.
Nah, I don't know. I mean, that's just whatever you feel your gut's telling you on that one. I hate to give that kind of advice. I mean, she tried to raise one. Sounds like sometimes Mother Nature's takes care of things. So
Mhm.
I try to get her bred back, and if she don't breed back, then yeah, I'd go her.
We've had another question submitted about the age of weaning and not the weight.
I let the cow herd dictate when I wean.
Okay.
I let them if they're maintaining them and they're still fat and everybody's still healthy. I let them calves get as big as they can on their mom.
So not a specific age, you're
I
strictly going to
I
follow.
don't have one. Now that you might talk to some experts. I didn't go to I guess I should have started this with I didn't graduate from college, so I'm not an expert on all the books and stuff, but that's what I do. So,
Kerr County, minimal screwworm area, but still a possibility. Should you cut your bull calves? Still a better price versus 500 weight bull calves?
yeah, they're going to be a better price, but on the screw worm deal, I would take do the protocols that they call for, and that's one of the reasons that I don't know if y'all watched the podcast with Wayne Cockle or not, but that's one of the reasons the cabin window got changed is to fight the screw worm back in the when it was the first time. That's one reason everybody changed to fall cabin herd so you can work your calves in the spring before the flies get here. So and that way they'll heal up before the flies start laying larvae. So um, just be very cautious if you're going to do that and you're that close out there to where that's at. I mean, be very cautious. Take the protocols that they call for with the Dectomax and the spray on the wounds and all that stuff. So
Well, it looks like we've filtered through majority of the submitted questions.
perfect.
I'm going to read off two real quick just to make sure we didn't miss them. Should I take old cow straight to the slaughter or to the sale barn?
I read it. I did it.
And then one was a scenario where small cow-calf producer looking to grow grass-fed.
Yep. I
Okay,
did it.
covered. Great.
It's when you left me all by myself.
You did great, it sounds like. Y'all didn't even need me. I should have just
Yeah.
turned it over to you from the beginning. We did just have one more submitted, and we can make this our last question for this afternoon. In
Perfect.
what scenario should you retain calves to sell in a later month?
Read that again.
In what scenario should you retain calves to sell in a later month?
Oh, if I guess if you weaned them and you don't have to sell them right then, and there's been a pretty sharp dip in the market, and the feel out there, the majority feel out there, it's going to come, this is going to bounce back, then I would kind of maybe hold on to them for another month or so. But that's hard to say. You go to trying to guess the markets, and 9 times out of 10, it's going to backfire on you. So when stick to your plan, make a plan, stick to your plan is what I tell everybody. If you made this plan and this is your plan from the get-go, stick with your plan. Because you might get it might backfire on you 1 out of 10 years, but 9 out of 10 you're gonna be, I mean, just stay with your plan. So,
Well, Ty, thanks so much for joining us today. We'll give everyone back the last 12 minutes of this hour. And if you have any questions that you did not get answered or you think of something later today, please feel free to email education@tscra.org and we will pass those over to Ty to try to get answered. But thanks everyone for joining us and we look forward to seeing you all next month in September.
thank y'all.
Thanks. Have a good one.
Bye.